ready to take your investment game to the next level? Introducing Digital Investor, your ultimate guide to mastering the digital marketplace. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, Digital Investor brings you cutting-edge game theoretical strategies, expert insights, and real-time tips and tactics to analyze, evaluate, invest, and grow your wealth. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Visit www.nickblacknext.com and start your journey with Digital Investor today.
Brandon.
Yo, what a day, what a day. Let's rock and roll. Can you see this? Oh my goodness, what a day.
Well,
I
gotta tell you,
is right.
Ethereum keeps on
Wait, what?
Ethereum keeps on Ethereum.
Oh, you mean the thing that we've been telling everybody about for the last 3 months? Oh, that one. Yeah, okay.
Well, but remember, we were also about 18 months early on this trade.
I said 3. I should have said 18 because they're like, and I told you yesterday, I said I wasn't going to go look back on that one because I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It probably it really made us grapple with the options thing. We grappled with that options question for a while.
See, sometimes these negatives come out to be positives. You're like, well, figure this out.
Okay. Do we have any general housekeepings that we need to do before we get into the guts?
Hypercycle. So I still get, and I just got to address this because I get so many emails of confusion. And I get it. Like, there's a lot of emails. So if I were to pull my email right now, probably most of them are like your tiller has stopped even though you've paid for tilling. You're getting dashboard misreads, which is typically API calls and that kind of stuff. Want to be able to split your ANFI. You can't split your ANFI yet. What was some other ones that I was getting? And I'm just addressing all these because I have a summary here at the end. But some other ones. Oh, how do I move an ANFI? Oh, this one. My ANFI, how does it show C8 eligible? It won't ever show C8 eligible because they didn't put a contract call in there. The only reason we put C8 eligible is because they wanted people buying ANFIs to know that it was coming legitimately from Hypercycle, so we put that in there. But all of as long as you haven't moved your ANFI, it is C8 eligible and good for all that complicated mess. Aimifier, whatever else add-ons they make up acronyms for. Anyway, all that being said, like, I am gonna screenshot all this. I've got like tons of questions that are overly complicated questions that you guys shouldn't have to deal with. And so I'm creating a document for Hypercycle today regarding all this. I mean, we're investors, right? We bought the node factories. We're investing in that aspect of things. We just want a share of the compute revenue. And there's a simplified way to do this. It would also help them to value the company of Hypercycle a little bit better if they would simplify things the way that I'm going to spell this out for them. So I'm creating a document. I'll submit it. If it doesn't get accepted, that's fine. I get it. But I would really like things to be simplified for you and for me. So we're going to be working on that. Moving past that, yeah, I mean, we got some good stuff to talk about in the markets today. So we're ready to talk. We're ready to talk today. That's it.
All right, that's it. Let's see. Okay, I mean, elephant in the room, Ethereum. I think you just have these companies that are buying Ethereum, and I don't think the retail investor matters that much.
Oh,
I don't think they said. I read an article that was talking about how flawed sentiment analysis is right now because most, retail Joe Sixpack is uncomfortable with the price moves in Ethereum, and they're waiting for confirmation or retracement, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, and they've just been getting bullied for the last $1,000, for the last 25%, and that they could continue to get bullied to 7,500. So just the buying on the side of Bitminer, whatever.
Yeah, BNMR. So
yeah,
they are raising $20 billion to buy Ethereum. That is 40% of everything exists on every exchange. 40%. You take out a 40% of the low float of Ethereum. I just don't know how this is going to be.
It's going to create.
Possible.
It's going to create a panic. It's going to create an Ethereum hoarding panic. It's going to be a supply shock. You saw it during COVID, right? This will be a supply shock. And so it makes me wonder, boy, it sure would be good to know how that funding round is going for them, because they were looking for what, $4.5 billion, and they jumped it up to $24.5 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot of dollar bills, y'all.
I would have. So this is my contention: is that there's some people that they don't care what the price is. The minute it hits the price that they paid in 2021 or something, they're out. They've just been sitting here and they're just like, I am out. Screw this crap. Da, da, da. Most of those people, I would bet that there's not very many wallets left that bought at 4,800 that are retail. I bet every one of those retail investors is gone. When it got below 2,000, they were probably, a lot of them like, screw this crap. I'm done. And there was a while that it sat under 2,000. And so my guess is they are out. And then now institutional holders, people that are staking long-term, stuff like that, they've probably been buying all over the place, and therefore they have a dollar cost average, an adjusted price that doesn't clearly, but there, you would think there will be some psychology around okay, when we get to a new all-time high, sell it. But statistically, when something breaks into price discovery, selling at that high is a losing maneuver. I'll give you some examples. In Bitcoin, any of them, ever, if you ever sold a high in Bitcoin, you got fucking destroyed within 18 months. Destroyed. Melted face, destroyed, embarrassed, penniless. Even your mistress won't talk to you. Destroyed. So on that one, at least, now we don't know if everything doesn't behave like Bitcoin. I will admit that.
That's right.
But you sold the highs in Bitcoin, you're a clown, and you've been clowned. So that idea doesn't work. Now, Ethereum's not a store of value yet, but they're starting to paint this picture. They're starting to monify Ethereum. And remember, it's all just what people think. The fundamental argument we all know as a structural argument for Ethereum, and it makes a lot of sense. And structurally, to the universe, Ethereum is way more important than Bitcoin. Like, as far as having utility, what does it do? Bitcoin don't do nothing. Bitcoin's whole thing is like, buy it because other people are buying it. Why? Because you're buying it. Oh, cool. Okay. So, and that's fine. Bitcoin's become a religion. It's a financial religion, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Matter of fact, I'm not sure it ever stops. Okay, but they're starting to monify. They're starting to make the money argument for Ethereum, and if they can confuse people enough, which is easy because people are stupid, well, then maybe $10,000, $15,000 Ethereum's not that outrageous. It would have been outrageous a year ago, especially before Pectra.
Before Pectra and before all these shenanigans, yes.
The Fusaka, that's the next one. That's the one that they're going to try to slip in before DevCon, I guess, or whatever. But that one's doing a lot of back end stuff that's actually really important for the future of scaling. That one, it's another backwards compatible fork. It's going to be a lot more. You won't see it really, but it's going to set the stage for the upgrade cycle in 2026. And it's also, it's combining a bunch of Ethereum improvement proposals, EIPs, into one, like 8 or 9 of them. And I went through the list, and I had caffeine when I started, and by the end of it, eyes were still like, when you do that thing, and you're like, damn it, I got to reread this again. And even though it was just, and I thought, you know what, I ought to torture everyone with this. I'm not going to do it. No, I didn't. But anyway, it was an interesting read, and you're not going to see any of the stuff. It's going to allow a couple of things. I remember upper gas limits to make bigger blocks. It sets the stage for some of the speed and scaling upgrades that will lead to basically cutting the transaction time in half, which should be good. So get down to faster blocks so that eventually they can kind of compete, especially as you get into stable coins, things like that. I love how they always compare with Ethereum. They go Ethereum to Visa, Ethereum to MasterCard.
Isn't it? Yeah. I always thought that was funny.
MasterCard goes this fast. No, it doesn't. The transaction permanence of MasterCard and Visa is 60 days.
Yeah.
You know how you know that? Because you can challenge your transaction for 60 days. Therefore, they don't have transaction permanence. Can you imagine buying some stuff with Bitcoin and 2 months later, they
reverse it?
Yeah. No bueno.
Speaking of which, that's the best segue that I've ever seen.
Go on.
Did you talk about the ARC yesterday?
No.
ARC. That's a Circle new layer 1 blockchain that they are doing now. They announced this yesterday. So their plan is they want their own layer 1, apparently, because it's going to be able to work better for stable coins. They're going to use USDC as the gas token, so you won't need to have Ethereum. That is where I think the good things really end with this. Basically, they're duplicating, or is Jimmy rigging a term that you can use? They're Jimmy rigging a blockchain that has nominal smart contract capability similar to, well, you named it, ETH, because everybody has to compare or try to keep up with the Ethereum network with their smart contracts. They say they're going to have quicker finality than ETH, and this should help with transfers, that kind of stuff. But then you named the main thing. What is there? The best. Here's the best and possibly the worst thing, because I have another story too. Here's the best and possibly the worst thing that there is with ETH. When you send off some Ethereums, it's gone, right? It's a push system. Crypto is built on push systems. Same thing with Bitcoin. If you send off some Bitcoin, the miners, they validate the transaction.
I'm already guessing where this is going. It's going to allow reversible transactions.
Yes. So basically, it's a push system, which is that's in essence what makes this decentralized. Okay. Then you cross the border of centralization, which is what USDC, what the ARC layer 1 is trying to do. They want to, straddle the line. So they want there to be a way to pull back or freeze any transaction that is not legitimate. Who's to say what or what isn't legitimate? You know what I mean? So they're going to go through that whole scenario, which I get it. The Bybit hack was rough, but I mean, that happens. This is something where I think now we cross over to what we have in the regular banking system, right? So anything can be pulled back. I don't know what the time frame is for that, because obviously if you go 16 blocks down the line and you try to reverse a transaction 16 blocks ago or whatever, that could cause even more ripple effect. But apparently they can freeze and pull back things. So that's going to be the main negative.
Freeze functionality is so that they can say they're the same. Tether's been freezing transactions for a while, for over a year.
Yeah, and I think, can USDC freeze as well? Circle can already freeze, right?
Right. So they can freeze. Okay. I think the idea of reversible transactions is probably an answer to banks and stuff saying, well, what if Mrs. Jones gets her, she touches a phishing email or a text or something, and happened to somebody, Brandon, they clicked the wrong button. Now they've been scammed, and yes, they were probably stupid, but they still got scammed. And it's not the victim. You can't make the victim. It's not the victim's fault that a crook was really clever. Right.
Right.
So
there's
you can't blame the identifiable victim effect. You can't blame the victim. So I think they're probably saying, hey, we need to be able to reverse transactions. And code is law, and that was the reason that there's Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, is because this blow up where they were trying to figure out, well, wait a minute, what do we do? We had the DAO hack. Do we find a way to give people their money back, or just tell them F you, it's crypto? I mean, if you're a code is law person, you say F you, it's crypto. This is the reason that Ethereum blew up and that everybody left.
Yeah.
Met on the beach in Miami, I think 2016. And then when they left, Charles was gone. Hoskins, Gavin Wood was gone. Vitalik and Joe Lubin stayed. And that was the end of the original kind of Ethereum as it was. That became Classic. And then they pivoted. They forked to the new Coke, which is just the regular Coke. So Ethereum. Anyway, now I don't think what Circle is doing is going to amount to much.
I don't think so either.
Their team of devs is weak, like playground, like what do they call the smallest kids that can play football, where the pads are bigger than the kids and they just run around looking like so it's like that compared to the NFL. Like the actual talent in in Ethereum is just better. It just is. And so putting together some hacked up, sloppy piece of shit. Matter of fact, that's probably the same comparison from the hack job douchebags over at Solana. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you look at these guys, who's left to go work under, I guess who'd they be working under? Jeremy Allaire at Circle, and create a blockchain, a stripped down bullshit blockchain. We already have two of those. We have XRP and we have XLM, Stellar and Ripple. We already have sloppy, basically minimal smart contract, shit show, dumpster fire platforms for moving money. They already showed no one cares, right? Like,
yeah. So
now, is this probably also a cash grab for Circle, meaning they realize that we're in a world where rates are going lower. Rates going lower means stable coins make next to nothing.
Yep.
They're just not going to make much money. And so they're like, well, we'll launch a layer one. Layer ones make money. Look at all these guys that are billionaires. And no matter how bad they shit the bed, people are going to come buy it.
Yeah.
Their institutional players will be like, yeah, layer ones, that's how you get rich. This is mostly a cash grab, and then it's pandering to a couple of their kind of legacy banking clients. I think that's what this is. I don't think Jeremy or any of those guys over there thinks that they're going to be successful. I think that they think they're going to be rich.
Yep. Yes, I agree.
So good for them.
I agree.
I'm not a hater. If they can find a bunch of dumb jackasses to buy their garbage, I ain't trying to stop that. Good for them. Am I going to buy their garbage? No.
No, definitely not.
No.
Heck no. Heck no.
Okay. Off of Ethereum, let's talk Bitcoin just for a second before we go behind the wall.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. My contention was, I thought we were going to be hitting all-time highs. I really felt like Bitcoin was about to pull a runner. And then Tom Lee apparently dropped his pants with this $20 billion hard-on he's got. What? Not just 20 billion, 20 additional billion. Remember, he's already raising $4.5 billion. Now it's 24.5 billion. So he just Ron Jeremy. So here we are. So how does Michael Saylor get out ahead? And these guys got to be pissed. They were like, this is our time for, we're going to worldwide lower rates. The Fed's going to cut. CPI, even if you take the bullshit numbers and leave them in, the owner's equivalent rent, which, by the way, was the biggest mover. The biggest garbage question mark in the CPI was the biggest mover. The one that anybody after Yeah, the one that
Oh,
anybody
boy.
after the age of 3 knows is ridiculous. So
Yeah.
that's it. So the inflation that was coming ain't coming. Jerome's arguments are they're toast. And now you're seeing so much dissension in the other governors, even voting members and not. I think it's pretty fair. Now it's fair to assume a rate cut is coming. The question would be, is it going to be a 50 or a 25? If I'm Jerome Powell, I beg people for a 25 just so I don't look so embarrassed. Because if it's a repeat of last year, it really is egg on the face. I mean, it's already, I don't think he's come out since the jobs numbers. I think they probably tarred and feathered his house and stuff like that, and, you know, put bags of dog crap on his front doorstep, rang his doorbell, and ran off. But so we're going into this environment where there is nothing in the way of Bitcoin or and Ethereum to an extent. But I think the rate environment and this dumb idea of free money, right? The free money argument, I'm already seeing it in social media around Bitcoin. Bitcoin's 120,000. And the free money from the interest rates hasn't even started flowing yet. And it never will. but if enough people, and again, we're not talking about a super high IQ batch of people, we're talking about crypto people. And those people dumb. And we're talking about new people to the crypto space through ETFs. And guess what? Those people dumber. So, and think of all the people now that are going to be able to get exposure through 401ks and through their pensions, all this kind of stuff, that various whatevers. And I don't know, man. That's funny. that's the Novogratz.
Yeah, that's the
So
Tom
for those
Lee.
who don't know, that was the tattoo that Novogratz got.
Yeah.
Which was really embarrassing. Like it's embarrassing on so many levels for Novogratz, because anyway, there's just the story of Novogratz and his perpetual failures and continual problems with he likes the drink. He likes to drink a little bit. He's like an Indian. I bet Novogratz is Indian. And I don't mean call center Indian. I mean like Native American. Here's a bunch of blankets with syphilis and alcohol. Good luck. Go make a casino. We're taking your shit. Indians. Those kind. Because Novogratz like that drink. All right. So what say you, Brandon? What's going to happen? What's the Bitcoin story?
Here's the Bitcoin story. I think Bitcoin's taking a back seat right now to Ethereum because of all the treasury companies. The Bitcoin story still hasn't been, I guess, completely told yet. In my opinion, we still do see, by the end of the year, if we wanted to project, well, I'm not going to do that. Let's do that behind the wall, because I think there's some interesting thought process. But I think Bitcoin's still got quite a few legs underneath it. I think we still have a lot of people ready to FOMO into Bitcoin as it trails up. Same with Ethereum. People are going to continue to FOMO into Ethereum. We have not reached the highs. We may get a small pullback just because, honestly, we've run 25% on Ethereum this week or whatever it is, right? I could look. I don't even know what it is, but we've run.
I think it's 22% in the last so many weeks.
Wow. So if we go even to the start of the week, so 7 days ago would have been the, 6th? Boom. Let's go the 6th, okay? Yeah. Boom. Since the 6th, we've run 30%.
Yeah.
30 flipping percent. I don't care who you are, what you're saying. I wouldn't buy an exorbitant amount today. I still think we go higher, but I think there's always room for like a little bit of a pullback, just because people are people and they're like, well, it just ran like crazy. I'm selling, taking profit.
Yeah. That was the article that I read where, and basically it said that there's not enough sentiment, doesn't have enough dollars in the game to affect the price. When you have these firms coming in with billions and billions and tens of billions and many tens of billions. Because now, you think SharpLink, you think Lubin and SharpLink's going to just sit back and take that ass whooping? You don't think Lubin should raise money right now to F you those guys?
They're not. Look at their stock. They keep selling every single day to buy more Ethereums, right? So they're crushing the shareholders, which that's what they get. The shareholders get that. That's fine. And I'm fine with that too.
They're okay with it. Yep.
Apparently they're okay with it. You go read their remarks online. They're like, yes, I hope they buy more and dump this stock. Wait, why?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Anyway,
They're
have
like,
fun.
debase me,
Anyway,
debase me.
so basically, they're buying like crazy. So you do bring up a good point. Will Ethereum fall far? No, because the people that are buying Ethereum right now, they're not selling. These guys are buying for a while. These institutions don't buy and then sell a week later. Maybe GameStop does. GameStop, by the oh my gosh. Anyway, but these guys do not buy and sell a week later.
Well,
That's just not who they are. So
Chris has a good question. There's questions inside that question. But I think that's what we address behind the wall. If people were to pivot into alts thinking, because now you got to, there's probably some people thinking, I missed Bitcoin. They're probably looking at Ethereum saying, oh, I missed Ethereum. No matter where probably. No matter what the price is, when Ethereum gets to 15,000, people will be like, oh man, if it gets to 10, I'm going to buy it. And they won't. It'll get to 10 and they'll be like, 6. Like, no, you just said recency bias. And real quick, Bitcoin Radio, ETH goes up till end of August, then pull back. Yeah, maybe not. Like, I don't know that there's any. We're just not in an area. When you get near all-time highs, when you get into price discovery, the past doesn't matter, and that's why it's called price discovery. So by the very definition of it, it's impossible to foretell. But I wouldn't be looking at a September where rate cuts are coming everywhere in the world, especially the Federal Reserve. So rate cuts are coming in September. Bitcoin hasn't broken out yet, but it's flirting near the edge of it. And tens of billions of dollars are coming into Ethereum. That's not where I would be. I don't know if I would arrive at that conclusion. I think it may be more complex. And
oh yeah.
And this isn't, and again, if you think you're pattern trading this, I think that is a very, very flawed way to look at it. I think you will get fucking destroyed. Not you personally. Anybody that thinks that they can pattern trade this, I think you are. I think there's a whole host of cognitive biases that affect you because, again, when things break into an all-time high, there are no rules for that. There are no rules or patterns for price discovery other than it go up, then down, then up, then down, then up. And that cadence is impossible to know. So I think but you don't have to go all in with something like that. You don't have to be like, look at Arthur Hayes. He Mr. Know Everything Arthur Hayes. He's the longest guy on the planet. And that cost him many millions of dollars last week. Now, Radio, I don't know how much you're investing, but I'm guessing it's not as much as Arthur Hayes. And this is all he does. And he's been here forever. And he is always wrong. And he knows everything. I mean, like, he knows all the facts. He knows all the facts. And he's the wrongest investor in crypto, maybe, other than James Wynn. The only difference is, Arthur still has money because he doesn't take leverage. So I would just be very careful about thinking that finding patterns where there are not patterns. This is the problem with all these people that do this. In a flower, if you take 3.7%, oh, bullshit. That doesn't tell you anything about trading patterns. Well, yes, it does, because the Fibonacci retracement of the petal of the, shut up.
Dude, this is exactly what you're saying. This guy, he's a chart guy. He posted this, and he's like, this is pissing me off because this chart doesn't make any sense. It's Ethereum. It's just like you said. It's like, you can't trade off of flipping. This is when, so down here, they're like lower low. It's going to go lower, technically speaking, on a chart, right? But this is when the treasury started buying. So fundamentally,
Ben Cohen,
look at the reality.
Ben Cohen is a fucking moron. Dude, don't ever quote Ben Cohen. That guy is a fucking retard. He's been so wrong. This cycle. What do you mean this cycle? He's been right this week. This motherfucker don't get me started on Ben Cohen. That kind of quasi mentally challenged fucking gnome. That guy is awful. Ben Cohen is awful. Like, people in the TA space make fun of Ben Cohen. Like, he's like the running joke. He's our Arthur Hayes.
Yay.
Like, he's the Jerome Powell of like trading insight guys. Yeah, don't quote him. And the other thing too, let's get behind the wall, but God, this isn't you guys got to get out of this idea of this cycle. It doesn't work like that right now. This ain't a crypto cycle. This is a business cycle. So you're not seeing the forest for the trees, man. I think you're gonna end up. You are not you just Bitcoin. A lot of people. This is all recency. And remember, technical analysis is 100% recency bias. There's nothing else going on in TA but recency bias, and that's why they're always wrong. Period. But anyway, let's get behind the wall. Let's get behind the wall and let's talk this through.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
He's called ETH, dude, man. Go look at how many times this fucking clown. He's so wrong that when I made some comments, his staff, he had some of his interns. Well, listen, technical analysis is. They actually sent me a private message explaining why they're so fucking wrong with Ben Cohen's analysis. Well, listen, the information changes and then we have to. Man. It's not TA, it's historical. Oh, God. Bitcoin, buddy, I wish you the best. But if you're following Ben Cohen for your decision-making, you are already bankrupt, bro. Anyway, let's get behind the wall. Right. Okay. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here and here.
Going behind the proverbial wall now to continue the broadcast privately for the digital investors and digital private clients. If you'd like to join us, simply go to nickblacknext.com and subscribe to one of our plans and immediately take advantage of our library of tools, tactics, and information. It's all designed to help you learn, grow, and manage your portfolio like a pro. Join us now.